Ellies Chief Executive Wayne Sampson with us in studio. Wayne, results for the year ended 30 April out today. We spoke exactly 6 months ago, the 20th of January. At the half year, your revenue up 11%, your headline earnings per share at 15 cents. For the full 12 months, we've got a revenue figure up 14%. HEPS slightly more than double, 31 cents, a slight acceleration then in the second half. Does seasonality come into play at all?
It does, but interestingly enough, the second half of the year was past World Cup, which kind of shows that even though World Cup was very good for us, we weren't totally dependent on it as a company.
We did see the impact of those World Cup numbers in Naspers' numbers with the DSTV operation. We've also heard from Top TV that the subscriber base is growing. Is there much more growth to be had in the market?
I think there's still fortunes of growth to be had in the satellite market. And I think the closer we get to DTT rollout, the more aggressive the satellite players should become in trying to secure their portion of the market share.
Just one of the parts of the business, the electrification business, some cause for concern over the past number of years during the downturn. The order pipeline not looking too good in that part of the business, but in the past 6 months, a nice uptick there. Any particular reason for that growth?
Well, as I said in the last interview 6 months ago, is we kind of changed the focus of Megatron division, not relying on local municipality, but looking more into Africa and also focusing more onto the mobile phone operators with renewable energy on the towers and that's really come through with a 26% growth in the revenue.
Might you return your focus, or at least return some servicing to those local municipality clients? A lot of pressure on infrastructure at the kind of local government level. We need only look around at the amount of substations that are in need of repair or replacement. Is there a pipeline of opportunity there? Obviously, perhaps not the tender process underway at the moment, but is there a substantial amount of work out there?
There's plenty of work to be done. It's a matter of the orders coming through. We haven't closed our doors to that portion of the business, but we applied the Ellies philosophy into the business where we believe in diversification, and so we took the existing business and we looked at diversifying and not relying on one sector alone.
You did mention renewable power with relation to the mobile phone operators. Interestingly, I was having a conversation with a chief executive recently who was startled. He said to me, there are people out there that come into your business and make it green. And I said, yeah, they do exist. Is that the kind of reaction you're getting from industry, that there are actual solutions that you can take to businesses?
Very much so. I think as South Africans, generally, we're very ignorant of renewable energy. I was at a trade show last month in Munich on renewable energy. I've been traveling to trade shows now for 18 years, and it's probably the single biggest show I've ever been to with one product focus, where there's about 100,000 square meters of exhibitors just purely on renewable energy and solar. And when you travel to the other countries, we're so far behind in renewable energies, and they look at you and they say, but you're in South Africa, you got the perfect weather, you got the sunshine, what are you guys doing? So I think it's just a matter of both corporate and households getting their heads around it and starting the energy drive.
Just returning to your numbers, we spoke at the half year about your strategy of owning your properties. Why is it important for Ellies to own property rather than lease?
Well, what was happening with how we've been growing as well, we've had to do renovations onto properties, and we are finding all we were doing is renovating to the benefit of the landlord. The other reason was we've kind of the areas that we had our businesses in, we were quite well known in those areas for our trade counters, and we wanted to secure the premises of where our trade counters are. So like establishing ourselves in the area without having the threat of a landlord when the end of a lease comes up, putting up rentals too high and you're having to move and relocate. It would be too disruptive to the business.
Also in your numbers, a big improvement in your cash position. Might we see more of that in the future?
We're hoping so. We're trying very hard to manage the cash well. It's a difficult balancing act when you're going on new ventures like we're doing now with Skyvine in Toto and the likes thereof. So it's a balancing act, and we're hoping to manage it very, very well like we have in the last year.
Skyvine, which you mentioned there, the satellite internet business. In terms of that business opportunity, the subscriber base that you've managed to start growing, is that still a very nascent business, still a very, very green business?
Very, very green business. The tests have just been completed, and that's so commercially we've started approaching different service providers throughout Africa, and that business model should actually start off in the next month or so. So it's in its early stages. We've seen no revenue from it at the moment, but in this next financials, we should start seeing it coming through. But we've got a long-term view on Skyvine, and we'd be very happy to see the turnaround of investment in a year, 2 years tops.
Other prospects, Africa seeming to be a very big focus for the group. Is that where the action's going to be over the next 6, 12, 18 months?
We're hoping so. It's still very difficult with the strength of the rand at the moment. We're concentrating on product that we manufacture for export and hoping to take the Skyvine into Africa, renewable energy, and just trying different product sets into Africa from what we've traditionally done.
Wayne Sampson, the Chief Executive of Ellies.